We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
What is going on? Welcome to, excuse me, the afternoon version of the Fantasy Football Morning Show. Recording it in the afternoon because shit happens. I'm still trying to get in the right mind state. I don't know. I'm getting ready for beginning of the season and also trying to get used to the schedule of doing a daily podcast. And I also take my kids to school and yada, yada, yada. This episode is going to be a mock draft. I have a draft tonight in one of the two leagues that I currently care about. The one I care about. So this is a league I've done for, I guess this will be the 5th year. I think there have been 5 or 6 years we've been doing this. And I've mentioned it before. A high school buddy of mine asked me to join his league, or this league that he started. There is a belt that the winner gets, and you have to mail the belt or hand deliver it if you lose. It's a pretty dope belt. I won it the first year, so it is very near and dear to my heart. I have not had it since then, which really, really sucks. And yeah, this is probably the one that I care about the most. I'm also in a Scott Fish Bowl, which is extremely dope. This is my first year doing that. I'm super excited about being in the Scott Fish Bowl. If you don't know what the Scott Fish Bowl is, just Google it. It is a charity-based fantasy football. It's probably the biggest fantasy football league on the planet. Scott's doing great things. It's got celebrities and NFL analysts and fans. I have the fortune of being in it as an analyst. I'm not going to lie. I applied as a fan and an analyst. I was just going to take whichever one I got. So excited about that. But this one is very, very near and dear to my heart. Mostly because I get to beat people that I actually know, and because there's a cool ass belt. So anyway, I have the draft for that league tonight. It is called the Funday League, and we're drafting tonight at 7:30, I think, Central Standard Time. That's what Yahoo told me. So I figured something good to do as far as drafting is when you have a mock draft on that particular platform before you actually do your draft. That way, if there's any changes, a lot of people, it's, I've been using the same platform for years. Sometimes it's just getting re-familiar with it. I think re-familiar is a word. It sounds weird to say it. I'm not going to try and say it anymore. But just in the case there are changes or updates or anything new, from last year that you haven't had experience with, it's really, really good to do a draft on that platform you're going to be drafting on. And it's also really good to get practice and kind of see the way that things are falling to you. I'm going to say this about ADP, and you'll probably hear me say it multiple times, and I'll probably write it a bunch of times this year. This is the first year I've just come out and talked about how much I cannot stand ADP, because mostly ADP it's essentially the rankings of bad players. There's X amount of good fantasy football players out there, and there's X amount of bad. I feel like the bad players outweigh the good players for the most part. And I guess good would be die hard. Die hard is probably a better way of saying it, because you can be a novice and be good. I mean, I've been in leagues and people who never played before and knew nothing about football. They won. And that's pretty good for them. So I guess the more knowledgeable players, I guess that's a way of putting it. So ADP is not the way to go, which is why I hate doing mock drafts with computers, because they use ADP, and ADP fluctuates so much based off of different sites, especially depending on how much traffic that site has. So anyway, I'm not a huge fan of ADP. So I'm going to do a live draft on Yahoo. I may do two, depending on how fast this thing goes. I have been doing a couple of different things this year. One thing I've done this year is I've been very running back heavy. So far in every draft I've done so far, I have gone 4 running backs in a row. It's just something I'm trying this year to see. I'm trying to differentiate myself from the other players, because I don't want to draft like everybody else. So there is that. I'm very much going with the mentality of get your guy. If there's a guy you want, and you have a plan based around that player, and it's somebody you find to have a significant or good value, then get that player. I'm not saying draft a kicker with your first pick. I'm not saying draft a defense with your first pick. I'm not saying do it in your top 5. I typically speaking go 10 rounds without drafting a quarterback. Excuse me. Depending on the type of league, super flex leagues, it's much harder to do. Depending on the way the people you're drafting with. I drafted with my kids a couple weekends ago, and they basically just drafted people they knew. It was my kids, my 14-year-old boys, my 13-year-old son, and my 15-year-old daughter, and some of their high school friends. And a bunch of them were just drafting people they knew. There was defenses going in the 6th round. I let them draft the way they wanted to draft. I didn't give them any instructions other than, have fun and do it. All of them. This is their first year drafting. None of my kids have ever had an interest in playing fantasy football at all. So I didn't want to steal the joy. I wanted them to enjoy it for what it was. So I was like, have at it, have fun. They can always ask me questions later. They can ask for advice next year, whatever it is they want to do. But I didn't want to tank this for them at all. So I let them draft the way they wanted to draft. And it was weird. And it was just like, sometimes there's a run on quarterbacks and you're like, I have to get a good one. And I missed a couple of guys that I really wanted. And I also had told one of my sons some players that I liked the day before, because he was drafting with some other friends in a football team. So he happened to snag all the quarterbacks that I wanted, which I thought was funny. But it's just, when you're going through a draft, the biggest thing is have fun. Try and put yourself in a position to win, at least to start off good, because there's going to be injuries. This year, you're going to have COVID stuff come up, and there's no telling you. I always say embrace the chaos, because the chaos will come regardless, especially in the running back areas. So that's why I am going so running back heavy, because I want to have a bunch of running backs I like. So anyway, with that being said, let's get to this draft. We are going to, so it is a Yahoo draft where I'll be drafting tonight. Oh, how do I make you bigger? That's what she said. There we go. Hopefully you can see this screen. We hop on to the next 12 team. I really wanted the 3rd. So I'll be drafting tonight from the 3rd position. What else? So this is going to start in 4 minutes. I have to kill 4 minutes now. In this draft tonight, I'll be drafting from the 3rd position. I got to pick my spot because I did the worst last year. So I had the first pick. I do not like picking from the first spot at all, because there's always a lot of pressure to pick this guy or that guy. This year it's Christian McCaffrey, who I'm not sure how I feel about. I will probably pick him with the first pick because I'm there. But I also hate having the last pick. No, I like having the last pick because I get 2 picks, but I don't have to worry about the pressure of the number 1 pick. So I like having the wraparound picks. I like having some of the options flushed out for me. And that kind of gives me an idea of what everybody in my league is thinking about. So I enjoy this 12th pick or the last position. Even if it's 10 teams, I like having the 10th pick because then I have the 11th pick also. Yeah, I just so this year I went 3rd pick because, like I said, I didn't want to have to worry about. I didn't want to have to deal with the 1st pick. The 2nd pick isn't that big of a deal to me, so 3rd pick was the one I wanted to go with. It was just you got to make a choice and make a choice. Let us see. So this is just a standard some PPR draft. Yeah, PPR. So anyway, let's see. Once the season gets here, I'm basically just killing time while the 2 minutes expires and the draft starts. Once season gets here, the plan is to live stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I may have to modify that schedule. I will, once I get a set schedule and a time, and right now it's tentatively 8:00 because I drop my son off for school at 7:00. So typically I can get to the office 7:15, get ready, prep, set up the podcast room, and get going by 8:00. I'm not going to make the podcast episodes too long unless I have to, unless there's a need. I will try and make them to where it's something that's, reasonable. Yeah, I will podcast for as long as I need to get out the information that I feel I need to get out that day. It's going to be a lot of me saying unintentionally. It's also going to be a lot of whatever the most relevant news is from the past 24 hours and how it affects fantasy football, either that day or coming up. I will try and sprinkle in some DFS stuff, maybe some prop bets, maybe some just regular betting stuff. We will see. I am a novice gambler at best. I do way more DFS stuff. And, that's that. This podcast is going to be whatever we make it. Whatever I say we because if and or when I finally get a crowd or I get a following, I want the people who are watching the podcast or watching the videos and listening to the podcast, I want them to be able to contribute and, give me feedback and let me know what it is they like and don't like, what it is they want, what it is they would like to see more of, whatever. So that is that. I'm going to try move this tab and see what happens. Yes, I can see. Full screenage. All right. Waiting room. Draft is loading. Draft is starting soon. Oh, yeah, I have another 2 minutes. Actually, let me stop sharing that screen and share this screen. Share screen. Share screen 2. There we go. Switch tabs. Oh, look at me. I got it. All right, 1:42 seconds left. So I am going to go running back heavy again. That is my thing this year. So we're going to sort by running back players. McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook. I want to queue up. McCaffrey, who I love. Derrick Henry, who I love. I do not hate Dalvin Cook. I just don't know how much of him I want. I may be wrong on this. I'm aware of that. My thinking on Dalvin Cook, basically what it boils down to this season, I'm going to do my best to avoid non-vaccinated players because, or more so non-vaccinated quarterbacks, because it affects the quarterback room. It also affects if it affects the way the recovery goes. So I forget all the rules, but vaccinated players stay out X amount of time and have to have consecutive non-COVID or non-positive COVID tests, whereas other people will have to have shorter period. Vaccinated players stay out X amount of time. Non-vaccinated players stay out a different amount of time. I know there's a difference. Basically, it goes down to if you're not vaccinated, there's more hoops and things that you have to jump through. So that is that. Got offered Derrick Henry for Kelsey. Trade, should I do it? I have Nick Chubb and Swift. Hell. Yes. All right. We are up. All right, so the first pick I took McCaffrey. Second pick. It's Dalvin Cook. Now I don't know anybody in this draft. This is a draft, or it is myself and 11 random strangers who wanted to do a mock draft at the exact same time. Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb. Let me just put it out there. I am a huge Derrick Henry fan this year. I think the addition of Julio Jones makes that offense much more dangerous. And I think it actually increases the value because typically speaking, when a quarterback does good, his primary running back does good as well, because they will get ahead. They will have garbage time. They will want to slow it down and run the ball. It goes hand in hand. So that also means that Travis Kelce is not Travis. Jesus, I was thinking about the question I got asked. Ryan Tannehill's a quarterback that I'm pretty high on this year also. Let's see. 7th pick, Taylor. 8th, Aaron Jones. Devontae Adams. Tyreek Hill. Adams, I think, is going to kill it this year because, as I've said more than one time, I am considering this the Aaron Rodgers revenge tour. I think that Aaron Rodgers, unless he gets hurt, is going to try and destroy every possible record he can while winning games. He's not going to do it in spite of, the games, but he's going to do it to try and win some games. And I'm super excited about him this season, even though I'm a Bears fan and by rule must ultimately hate the Green Bay Packers. So yes, just in case, I don't know if this is going to show up on the screen. Oh, I can show this. So this is a question I was asked earlier. Got offered Derrick Henry for Kelsey. Should I do it? I have Nick Chubb, Swift, and tight ends. I have Hawkinson. I am very high on Hawkinson this year. So getting Derrick Henry for anything is a no-brainer for me, especially if it doesn't hurt your team. All right, it is coming back to 6 picks until my turn. Let's see. Antonio Gibson's gone. Calvin Ridley is gone. Austin Eckler is gone. Najee Harris is gone. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is gone. Those are 2 guys that I think are going to do good, but I think they're going too high in drafts. So I don't know. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a good running back. He hasn't had a lot of great production. So I don't know how I feel about that. DK Metcalf at 19. the 19th pick. DeAndre Hopkins, 20th pick. That is another offense I am not too sure about. It should be very, very pass heavy. I just don't know about the distribution. I don't know who's going to be the guy. It's going to be a high-powered offense, but it could be very much like the Seattle offense. The Seattle offense is not like it's an offense that has two wide receivers. They're both stars and have star talent, but you never know whose week it's going to be. And I feel like it's never a situation where it's DK and Lockett are always going to eat. I feel like it's either a DK week or it's a Lockett week. And that is all up to Russ. That is my take on that. Let us see. So Hopkins, Jefferson, Mixon, Mahomes is gone. I'm going to go running back again. I will draft James Robinson here. And I've caught Chubb's gone too, is he? I've caught a tremendous amount of shit for going for Mike Davis this year. So I want to go him. All right. I want to see if Mike Davis comes back to me. So I currently have Christian McCaffrey, James Robinson, and Montgomery, all running backs. Let's see, all players. Let's see. Mahomes, Montgomery, Robinson. Keenan Allen goes next. A.J. Brown goes. So this year's strategy has been going 4 running backs coming back with a receiver and a tight end. Depending on the tight end, I might go tight end first. Tight ends that I am liking. Let's see who's out there right now. We can get the queue. I am not a George Kittle fan. I am a fan of Kyle Pitts, but not where he has been going. And I think that there is a chance that Kyle Pitts isn't as heavily used as everybody thinks he might be. We will see with that. I'm higher on TJ Hawkinson than I am on Kyle Pitts. I'm higher on Mark Andrews than I am on Kyle Pitts. Yeah. Logan Thomas is a guy that I also think could do really, really good. Because Fitzpatrick, I have so much love for Fitz. Him and that glorious beard of his, just out here killing the game. Let's see. McLaren went. I think McLaren should do good also. Julio Jones, Robinson, McLaren, CeeDee Lamb, Carson, Kittle, Godwin, Evans. I am also a fan of, and it may backfire, it may bite me, but I like Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry together. I think that Bill Belichick, especially now that he has a rookie quarterback, he may try and use them the way he did Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski, and that could be a killer option. Yep. I made that terrible joke. I may actually clip it out. I may make that a TikTok or a Snapchat. I don't know. As you can see, I do not take myself that seriously. Cole Kmet is another option that I think could be a quote-unquote sleeper for people. But also, with the way they played in preseason, there's a chance that Jesse James, once Justin Fields gets on the field, there's a chance that there could be a connection between him and Jesse James. We will have to see about that. Preseason is very, very hard to gauge things by. So, that's why I watch preseason to look at the talent, the individual talent. You can't gauge a lot about relationships between quarterbacks and receivers and tight ends and stuff like that, because it all depends on who it is they play with. But also a lot of things change between preseason and the regular season, especially with this extra week we've gotten. So always be aware of that. It is 4 picks until my turn. Amari Cooper is gone. Swift is gone. Cup is gone. Lockett is gone. Two picks until my turn. Claypool is gone. Let us see. Who's available? Wide receivers. It's now my pick. So I have DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Thielen, Deontay Johnson, Higgins, Judy. Go on, Mike Davis. So I now have 4 running backs. I think it's time that I get I might go tight end. I'm going to go tight end. Who is, Mark Andrews. So now I have a tight end that I kind of like. That is the 6th, round 5. Yeah, so I'm going to find some receivers that I like. Problem is, I'm real iffy on receivers, especially these new ones. I am a huge Joe Burrow fan. Have been since LSU. I was last year, and then he got hurt, and now he's coming back off the injury. We don't know how he's going to do in the beginning of the season, so we also don't know how the weapons are going to be used. Because if there is a backup that comes in for injury or because he's not ready or whatever it is, then, ball distribution is going to be an issue, or at least questionable. So, there's no real certainty on which wide receiver for Cincinnati is going to be the clear-cut number 1 guy. And keep in mind, you can have a depth chart. Everyone has a depth chart. They have to have one. And you can list whoever you want to in each of those slots. Production for me is what decides what a number 1, 2, or 3 receiver is. Same thing with every other position, running backs included. Until I see different, Odell Beckham is not the number 1 receiver in Cleveland. It is Jarvis Landry. There appears to be a better connection. He gets more targets. It is what it is. If Odell comes out and just balls out the first 6 games and it's different, then cool. But until I see it, I go with production to let me decide who the number 1, 2, 3 receivers are. So I'm not a huge fan of drafting Odell Beckham because where you get him usually isn't worth it. I've been burned, so it is what it is. Everybody's free to make their own choices. That's just how I feel about it. Cincinnati receivers, another thing I have an issue with is I don't think they got the offensive line right. They should have drafted Penei Sewell, in my opinion, instead of getting the receiver, Jamar Chase. I get Joe Burrow went to school with him. I guess he likes him or whatever, but I would like being protected and not demolished the entire season, much more than having the guy that I want. So whatever. I just don't think that line has been fixed enough, and I once again will not believe it till I see it. So there is that. I am kind of skeptical about the receivers at Jacksonville also, because it appears like they want to be a very run-heavy team, which is why I'm okay getting James Robinson, but I'm not just jumping at any of the Jacksonville receivers. Antonio Brown, I believe, can have a breakout year this year. Said that Arians said he looks like he he looks in practice the way he played when he was with Steelers. I think that's very high praise from a pretty tough coach. Let's see. Jerry Jeudy has a lot of potential. Just not sure about Dak. If you can't get Jerry Jeudy, you can also get Gallup, who was close to the same range. Corey Davis, I think, is going to do very, very good in that offensive with the Jets. And I think they're going to be very, very pass heavy. So I'm keeping an eye on him. I think Shark might not have any value until we see it. Jacoby Myers and Jarvis Landry are two guys I'm keeping my eye on. Projected points. Let's check and see who's left quarterback wise. It is the 6th round. I can still get Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Ryan Tannehill, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't trust Hurts. I like Baker Mayfield. I've always liked Baker Mayfield. I'm just a little bit afraid there's maybe too much hype around Baker Mayfield. I don't know how well he would deal with the pressure. So we will see. I kind of feel like there could be some regression with Justin Herbert. Not that I think he'll do bad, but he could end up being outside of the top 10, and that's not what I'm looking for with my quarterback, especially my first quarterback. Let's see. I am next up. I will go Jerry Jeudy. Let's see. I'm going to go Corey Davis, hoping that Jacoby Myers comes back to me. Let's see. Oh, did I get? Yeah. Helping Jacoby and Jarvis come back to me. We shall see how that goes. If I can get those two guys, I may go ahead and get a quarterback. I'll be 9th. 7. Yeah. It'll be about the right spot. Let's see. I took Davis, then Odell went. Higbee, Herbert is gone off the board. Nineteen picks on my turn. Robert Tonyan. Noah Fant, somebody else I've been fairly high on. But if Fant doesn't have a good year this year, I think Fant is just going to be another mediocre tight end. still get Aaron Rodgers. I may have to go quarterback. Oh, there goes Aaron Rodgers. So it looks like there's probably going to be a run on quarterbacks now. Wow, just to further show my point about ADP being bad and not a good tool to use. The ADP right now in the 7th round for the Los Angeles Rams defense is pick 72. Washington's pick 80. A kicker is 81. Tampa Bay's defense, ooh, that is pretty gross. Yeah. Jets. Jamar Chase is behind Pittsburgh's defense. A kicker, another defense, another kicker, another defense. Yeah, ADP is stupid. Don't use it. It's no, unless if you were on a site where everybody who plays on that site pays, then you've got people who are sharp, people who are doing research, people who are being smart. But yeah, this ADP could have been written by a monkey fucking a football. So, do with that information as, what you will. Also, something else. Don't be afraid to draft Michael Thomas. Just don't do it early because he is going to come back. I mean, you get to the late rounds, your flyer rounds, you've got 5 picks left and Michael Thomas is still there. Make him one of your picks. It's probably a good call. Some might say the same for Will Fuller because he's suspended for the beginning of the season. I'm just not one of those people because I am not a Will Fuller fan. Sorry about it. But if you were to pick him with one of your last 5 picks, I wouldn't argue with it at all. As I have it sorted right now, did he just go? Oh, a defense just went. That is great. That means that guy's auto drafting. Where was I at? I was just looking at ADP. Let me go to receiver. So what I was looking at was Michael Thomas and Will Fuller. But also looking at Antonio Brown. Where did he go? So this is going to make the world's shittiest audio content. So sorry. Let us see. Ayuk or Deontay Johnson? Honestly speaking, Ayuk or Deontay Johnson depends on who the quarterback is. I think that if Trey Lance is the quarterback, Ayuk's value goes up. So if Jimmy Garoppolo starts the season and Roethlisberger starts the season, which is what is supposed to be happening, then I would go with Deontay Johnson. If you have the room to stash him and wait for when Trey Lance starts, I would go Ayuk. All right, it is my turn. Antonio Brown. Jarvis Landry. right, where are we at? Oh, more kickers are going. This is great. All right. Where are we at as far as quarterbacks? Yeah, I am definitely at the point where I'm going to get a quarterback now. Aaron is gone. All right, so I got Brown and Landry. The Cleveland defense went. The Kansas City kicker just went. And yeah, this is a bunch of auto drafting fucks right now. But it is what it is. Kansas City's defense. This is pretty gross. This is the downside, of course, to drafting, doing a mock draft with people you don't know. You got people who are leaving the draft, and clearly kickers are being auto-picked because of terrible ADP. So you cannot count on you can't count on ADP. You can't count on people that you actually draft with to be as bad as these drafters. So always keep that in mind. I have Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Josh Allen, and Chubb as pro players. Well, you have a hell of a team. All you're missing is Stephon Diggs from that bunch. No, that is a someone drafted Trace. So I was in a league, and someone drafted Tim Tebow. So drafts get kind of scary, and people don't pay attention, and they're just I last minute research, and they heard that Tim Tebow played at some point in time, and it was like the day after Tim Tebow got cut, which I find it hilarious. Yeah, it was pretty gross. All right, let's see. Tannehill's gone. New England's defense is gone. Robbie Gould is gone. A.J. Dillon is gone. It is 10 picks from my pick. Let's see. 10 picks from my pick. So I have got 9 of 15 players. I have I'm missing a quarterback. Missing a kicker, defense. And I have 3 bench spots left. Would you ban someone from your league if they drafted Allen, Mahomes, and Kyler with the first 3 picks? I don't believe in banning anybody. People draft the way they draft. People draft stupid, and I get that. And I mean, I'm drafting 4 I drafted 4 running backs in this. To start this off, I went running back to try and make myself different. So if someone thought that drafting 3 quarterbacks first would make them different and it would give them an advantage, it's gamesmanship. It's something else. I'll give you an example. I do not draft a kicker or a defense ever unless the platform makes me. So ESPN does not make me draft a kicker or a defense when I go to my draft. So tonight, when I do my draft at 7:30, I will not draft any of those, and I will have 2 extra players than everybody else that drafts a kicker and a defense. I will eventually have to cut them, but I get time to evaluate and think through these extra 2 players that I have. And I've got until, this week it'll be Thursday when it's, so it's whatever. I've seen some leagues where people got real jackasses for commissioners. I also don't believe in vetoing a trade. Because people always want to holler collusion. Bill Belichick's been cheating in real life for 20 years. So why do I expect for fantasy players who are playing for money or whatever it is to not also cheat and do things? So it is what it is. I mean, if someone's that shitty that they're colluding with them, get them out the league, maybe then. But I don't believe in vetoing trades either. I'm going to go quarterback. I'm going to get Fitzmagic because I love that guy. And so the quarterbacks left are Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, Jameis Winston, who I will never draft, Kirk Cousins, who I'm avoiding, Jones, who I'm avoiding, Wentz I don't trust, Lawrence I don't trust. Zach Wilson, if Baker Mayfield was not there, would be who I took. But Baker Mayfield's there, so I'm taking Baker Mayfield. Yes, agreed. Guaranteed 30 points. I completely agree. I also like balancing a team. It's what I'm trying to achieve here. But I also like being different. Only concern with my team is the running backs. If you are having an issue with running backs, go find your running back. The one thing is every year I say, and I say it all the time, embrace the chaos. Okay, chaos is going to come whether we want it to or not. The first 2 weeks of the season is usually just like basically just massive destruction, people getting hurt and getting injured. I mean, and you don't know who it's going to be, which is why this year I'm going heavy on the running backs, but also watch the waiver wire. Like, you've got to be out there with your phone during the season on Sunday when injuries happen. Hit the waivers. Look at who the number 2 running back is on a certain team. If it's a running back by committee team, don't worry about it. You know, it's going to be next man up for the most part. But if you get something like the minute Travis Etienne went out, James Robinson's value doubled. You know, it doubled. J.K. Dobbins is out. Gus Edwards. Until they make a move for a player, it doubles. You know, I have Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Hines, and Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay could actually end up turning out pretty good. We don't know what the Texans are going to be, though. And let's see. Yeah, Hines is good. I mean, you're not doing bad. Draft grade. I acquired Justin Jefferson, Tanya early though. Cooks too. Cooks. If Kirk Cousins ends up not playing because of COVID protocols, Cooks' value goes to the roof. Through the roof. But then you also have to worry about him being injured because he's going to play more reps than normal. That's my only fear for him. They can all get hurt. I understand that though, you know? Let's see. 9 more till my turn. We have got Gesicki is gone. Johnny Smith's gone. Matt Ryan's gone. Will Fuller, the 5th, is gone. Kirk Cousins, Pittman, Jones Jr., Hines is gone. Let's see. I'm in a position where Brandon Cooks. Got you. Hey, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's watching this live. I appreciate everybody giving input and asking questions. Hey, like and subscribe. You could be one of my few subscribers. This channel, I'm still in the process of getting it all done. Like I said, in case you haven't seen before, Fantasy Football Morning Show is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will do a live version. I will have a recorded version. I'll have an edited version on YouTube. There will be the live stream on YouTube. I'll have a more condensed version on YouTube also. And there's also going to be a podcast. You can follow me on every platform. I'm streaming live now on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, looking to figure out how to get on Twitter because Periscope's going away. So I don't know. I might do Spaces or something. Still working out all the kinks, but I appreciate everybody who's following and supporting me. Let's see. So right now I have got my quarterback slots full, no kicker, no defense, and 2 bench spots left. So this is where I go for, I'm also working on Twitch. Yes, that is going to be, I will be on Twitch by next week. I'll probably be on Twitch by the time the season starts because I might live stream my reaction. I might live stream the Thursday night game. Oh, it's my turn to draft. Let's go. I can get Hunter Henry. Who is somebody that I think is a good value? Let's go all players, offense, projected fantasy points. Devontae Parker with no Will Fuller and Tua or possibly question mark whoever. Rumor has it Deshaun Watson might go there. Devontae Parker should eat very, very well into it in the Dolphins offense. I just don't know how much I trust Tua, but whoever's playing quarterback has to throw the ball to somebody. So I think that him and Gesicki could be really good targets. I will tell you, I am personally staying the hell away from Carolina if possible. I mean, I've got McCaffrey because McCaffrey's going to do what McCaffrey does. Tyrod Taylor in Houston, until I see it, I have no idea what's going to be. So that's a pretty terrifying endeavor. Who else is out here? I mean, McCole Hardman is still out here in this draft. Marquise Brown. There's a lot of still. That's the thing. This is the reason that I went running back heavy at the beginning. Getting a lead running back to me is more important than getting a lead receiver, because there are going to be receivers who start off the season as quote unquote number ones that end up being number twos, and people who are number twos that end up being number ones, plus all the rookies. There's a lot of rookie receivers out there this year that could break out. So it happens every year. So, and that's just my belief. I'm the kind of person who I want to have more stability at running back, because I can find a receiver better than I can find a running back. If you feel the opposite way, if you want to have receivers, then have receivers. It's cool. Draft your team your way. Don't let anybody else tell you how to draft. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just giving you advice. If you don't feel good, if you finish a draft and don't feel good about your team, then why'd you draft? There's 0 point in drafting unless you feel good about that team when you're done with it. So build your team your way. If nothing else, you learn a lesson. That's all I've been doing for the last 10 years, learning various lessons about what it is I like and don't like. Make yourself happy, find a team, find a good balance, find whatever your good balance is. Twitch. Let's see who's gone. Parker, Hooper, Waddle, Trey Lance, Madison, the Buffalo Bills defense, Justin Fields. Justin Fields, being a Bears fan, I feel very good about Justin Fields. I don't know when he's going to play. And I'll tell you, I heard Mike Greenberg say something today that I hated to agree with, because I don't like agreeing with Mike Greenberg. But he said today that if the Bears are not going to start Justin Fields, then he should not be the backup. He should be the number 3 in the roster. And they've got Foles, and they can have Dalton and Foles to backup. And his reasoning was that you should just start Justin Fields when you think he's ready. If he's not ready to start, then he's not ready to start. And he shouldn't end up starting because Andy Dalton gets hurt. That's a football decision. I just find it a very compelling argument. It's very interesting because I am very much a quarterbacks need to sit and watch and hold a clipboard and get some experience behind some veterans before they go out there on the field and get murdered. I think that would have helped Joe Burrow last year because, he ended up getting hurt and was watching from the sideline anyway. So I'm a big fan of letting quarterbacks watch and learn like they did when, Brett Favre had Aaron Rodgers and when Montana had Steve Young. But now it's a very, very, you got to have, now, we got to win now. Only one team wins now every year. So, these GMs need to be smart. And as fantasy GMs, we kind of need to do the exact same thing. Let us see. Who is Ertz is gone. Cook is gone. Jarwin is gone. Roethlisberger. Wow. It's insane. Let's see. Let's go through the quarterbacks left. This is a 12-team league, okay? You still have Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Zach Wilson, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, who I do like, but I'm not sure he's going to be the second coming of Brady like everybody thinks he is. So we will see. I don't have a kicker or defense. Let's go. Somebody find a running back just for depth. Oh, I'll give you a guy I like. Giovanni Bernard stands a very good chance of being a lot like James White was in the offense in New England. There's a good chance that Giovanni Bernard gets used by Tom Brady the exact same way. Another flyer. I ain't mad about taking Mark Ingram either. The guy's a beast. And he has a very good veteran presence on a team. And if the Houston Texans don't know who the quarterback is, they've got Tyrod Taylor. He's been named starting quarterback. So I expect there to be a lot of running in that offense. So, why not take a Mark Ingram? Ooh, Chuba Hubbard is another guy who's down here. Marlon Mack, I'm not sure on. I don't know what they do with him. Rashard Penny, they keep saying he's going to be good. I'm not leaning towards any of the Seattle running backs because you never know who it's going to be. It's not like when Marshawn Lynch was there, you knew it was beast mode. Like beast mode was the guy. Everyone else is there for, he has to pee or he needs a drink. Now you don't know Carson, Penny, and I think they drafted a guy. So I want no part of the Seattle Seahawks backfield. Ramon Stevenson is another guy who, if I'd been thinking, I could have took him there. Ramon Stevenson is a guy who could potentially break out, especially towards the end of the year. Patriots running backs are much more valuable towards the end of the season than they are at the beginning of the season. So if you're going to draft a Patriots running back, draft them with the expectation to use them later on and not right now. Because you might not even see Ramon Stevenson this coming up game. You might not see him for the first two games. But once it starts getting cold and they are pounding the rock, they use the shit out of their running backs. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Do you think acquiring Michael Carter for Philip Lindsay would be smart? I don't think it would hurt you. I don't think it's going to give you any big advantage either. I would probably, in all honesty, I would wait until this weekend and be ready to jettison Philip Lindsay from my roster and pick up somebody when a player eventually gets hurt. I hate to say it like that, and I hate to be forecasting injury, but this is a sport where grown-ass men run as fast as they can into each other and try and do as much damage as they can to their bodies. That's facts. So there's going to be an injury. I would be looking to just toss Philip Lindsay unless he does good. I mean, you can watch the game and see how he does. If he gets used, they're going to run the ball. They can't throw it. So there is that. My draft is complete. Once again, thank you to everybody who watched, who asked questions. Chubb will rush for over 200 this weekend. Hell yeah. Chubb and Hunt might rush for 200. That's going to be that's a game I'm probably going to bet the under on because they're going to want to slow it down. But Chubb and Hunt could be the absolute best backfield in the NFL right now. So there's that. How many leagues am I in? 7 this year. I backed out of a lot of leagues. I'm in a Scott Fish Bowl this year, which is very, very important to me. I'm actually thinking about starting a week 2 fantasy league for the Fantasy Football Morning Show. So stay tuned for that. But I got some leagues with my kids and some other friends. But Scott Fish Bowl and my one home league are the 2 important ones to me. Like I said, I got all my kids in a fantasy this year, which is super dope. And like I said, be on the lookout for a Fantasy Football Morning Show league. I may try and do one league on every platform after I get some followers. So anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. This thing hit, holy shit, I've gone for an hour. So I really, yes, the Bills. I'm low-key a Bills Mafia fan. Josh Allen has a gun. Stephon Diggs is amazing. The running backs are a little bit suspect. We won't know what they're going to be until we see them in the game. And once again, it's also another team that the running backs get much better. The Upper East cold weather teams get much better as it goes. Running back wise, get much better as the season goes on. Stephon Diggs and the receivers are going to be balling regardless. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode or listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow. I'm everywhere on TikTok. I'm just tell your friends like, hey, I found this really weird ass podcast where a guy did a morning show in the middle of the afternoon. And as always, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. See you next time.